trying to force it. Down bad before me and my scorching. Circling the sun, that's a different type of orbit. Then I fell on my face, but it must have been the Lord's gift. After that, I went from death to life. Only one time he ever said to test him right. The best replies to testify. He conquered it all. He conquered my fall in his presence. Why? I went from death to life. Now there's no reason to be stressing like he did it. It's time to testify. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? Death to life. Death to life. He did it. Death to life. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? John 5:24 and it reads, I tell you the truth, whoever listens and believes in God who sent Christ will have eternal life. No condemnation, they cross from death to life. No life to death, no walking dead. I'd rather walk the talk and shine my light instead. Who can ideate the darkest Friday would have transformed to this new life inside me? Cause Sunday came, I went from death to life. Now there's no reason to be stressing like he did it. It's time to testify. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? I went from death to life. Now there's no reason to be stressing like he did it. It's time to testify. Let's first get the verse and the essence right. You get it? Death to life. To life. To life. To life. To life. Death to life. To life. To life. Death to life. Death to life. 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 Death to life. To life. My brand new Occupy Till I Come 60-day devotional has arrived, taking you through the entire narrative of Scripture in 60 days, 35 days in the Old Testament, 25 days in the New Testament, with custom interactive journal prompts for every single day. This is a great way to have a structured devotional, reignite your passion for the Word of God. This is something I wish I had 20 years ago, 10 years ago, when I was traveling a lot doing music, that could just take me through a general narrative of Scripture and help me be interactive and reflect on what it is that I read. That is why there's a journal built into the devotional with daily prayer request section to also document my prayers. So whether you've been walking with Jesus for a while or you're new to the faith, go to blessgod.shop right now to pick it up. All right, I'll see you over there. After the incredible success of our Bless God prayer journal, many of you guys
We are live! Hey, yo, before you come in, take your shoes off. Get your super chats ready. Your questions are getting answered live. But first, shout out to the patrons and the channel members. Check it out. Never miss the after party again. Sign up right now on Patreon for as little as $5 a month and access every replay. Put it in the budget. I'm telling you, we are essential. Y'all already know what time it is. Welcome to the after party with Ruslan.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. We're live. And I need you, yes you, to drop your location in the chat. I need you. Yes, you. To let me know where you are watching this at. We have the premium partners on Patreon. We have the mods, and we have you all the way live from Honolulu, New Jersey, Austin, Columbus, South Africa, Michigan, San Fernando Valley, Dallas, Texas, Massachusetts, Tulsa, Temple, Virginia Beach. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. And we have Zach Spadazo.
Wow. Oh, we got the It's amazing to be here.
I know it. I wish I had something more profound.
As the
Say,
white
matter of
smoke
fact, this is
billows.
it. Okay, look, many moons ago before this world would ever know.
We sleep
This young
nice
lad was
on our
looking for
pillows.
life being this cold. Outside
Because a
waiting
new
for my
pope
papa
is
to-
chosen. That's
All right.
Pope Leo.
Pope Leo.
Hey,
Don't smoke Leo. Don't smoke Neo. Pope Leo, don't smoke Neo.
come on.
I spoke. Hold on. Pope Leo, don't smoke Neo. I spoke Creole.
Oh, there we go. A little down south. Come on, somebody.
Should I keep going?
Yeah.
Smoke Creole. With a dope trio.
Come on, Butts.
Got the hope. Keto.
Ooh, keto gives you that hope, huh? We just
No
hit a good-
chorizo.
We just hit a good workout.
Lopez hit me up. Yeah, we just hit a workout. Zach getting his life right. I'm getting my life right.
I don't feel the pump anymore. You know how you have the post-workout pump, and then it just depletes into like your arms feel deflated and like useless.
I know.
That's where I feel right
That's
now.
why we're all jacked up.
That's where
All right, so there is a pope decided to white smoke. Should we hit him with an appetizer or should we just jump right into
we
it?
should have an appetizer, and you should also probably get the special gift for everybody, as they just came out of the Mike Turnbow video.
Special gift. What's the special gift?
It was a special gift for you earlier today.
Is it a special gift for me? Oh, I didn't drop it in.
Drop it in while I entertain the folks.
All right, you entertain the folks.
All right,
I'll drop it
guys,
in.
coming up, we have the amazing Priest, Provider, Protector collection coming up. And
When is that coming out, though? That's
my
the real
goodness.
question.
when it's coming out, well, you're going to...
Where did you guys put this? Exports or where'd you put it?
Raw files. It's going to be here in time. If you order it, it's going to be here in time for Father's Day. That's for sure. It might be available next week. It might be available the week after that at the latest. But we got some awesome pieces. I'm super excited for you guys to see. It's been a while since we have done an apparel collection, as we try not to overdo it with promotion, and we really wanted to get
Why you guys selling stuff to us? We don't like it.
we really wanted people to get to the Blessed God Summit, so we spent a lot of time doing that, and we did not do any merch drops, and people have been asking, when's the new Blessed God apparel coming?
When is it coming?
So here we are. We're coming with some fresh new designs from Sword and Pencil. I'm so excited. Ruslan is wearing one of them right now, and he'll show it in a second. But Priest, Provider, Protector collection reworked. It's not the same one as the last Father's Day, but the same themes. So it's really exciting. Hello, fellow Protestants. Will there be a canvas? Always a canvas when Sword and Pencil is involved.
A canvas. I like it.
I watched the entire Mike Winger video. Micah's visions are cringe,
One way
to say the least.
One way to say it.
Yeah, they're cringe to say the least. Wait, did Zach always have that tattoo on his arm? I got
always.
which
baby.
one? I got two. I'm getting yadded up. Yeah, I got this one when I turned 18. Or no, this one when I turned 18. I had this one when I had my first son, and I want more. Just don't. It's hard to spend money on frivolous things. It's like tattoos and guns.
That is homosexual.
Yo!
That is so bad. That is so bad.
There's a specific time you're gonna
There's
use
a
it.
specific time.
Where is it? Where is it on soundboard?
It's I don't know if it's on.
They
your
should replace
soundboard.
this one. We don't need that.
I don't even know if that's on mine.
Goodness gracious! I won't get rid of that one. I'll never use it.
All right, hold on, bud. That is funny
Yeah, I think that is amazing with the call-in.
with the call in.
So then you hit it and you go, "Oh, we're getting a call."
All right, so I think you're on Stream Deck XL.
That's me. Get rid of that. The money.
This one.
That one. Yeah.
Paste.
Boom. Give me that.
Replace. Now you got it. Hit it.
Oh, it's the parental advisory logo.
I just did the same one. You can change it.
Oh,
Oh, it didn't do it.
no! You just gave me the picture.
Oh, what in the world?
Oh, now it's double. It's overlaid. What's going on?
What is happening?
They're stacked.
You do a great job.
It's hitting all of them.
Oh, that's not good. That was wild.
That is homosexual.
That's it. That's it right
That's
there.
it.
Okay, wait. Let me make sure I hit it again. So let's say something crazy happens. It's a little sus. And instead of having to say anything, we don't have to be the bad guys anymore. We can go like this. Oh, we're getting a call.
That is homosexual.
Thank you, Mike Winger.
Thanks, Mike Winger.
Yep. And so he'll do the heavy lifting for us.
Shout out to the Winglings.
Yep. He'll do the heavy lifting for us.
Someone said now I'm overstimulated. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, Stephanie. Forgive us. Okay. Okay, I got something interesting.
Where is that Shama sound effect?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that was good though.
Okay, where is it? Someone reached out. Okay. So we had a video. Let me start this. Start this recording. Start the timer.
They say they want me to get a mullet. What do you think?
I think you should totally do it. All right. So in our previous video on the give, send, go debacle,
Oh, this is my alley.
supporting both the N-word lady and the killer guy,
The outcasts and outlaws.
the outcasts and outlaws.
Yeah.
Gosh, I even feel weird trying to make light of it, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? The people that like America's divided over now, right?
Yeah. For some reason.
Philo and Carmelo. We talked about that organization, which is a Christian organization, and how they left both up and allowed both to be up. And Zach thought, what was your take? Your take was,
Okay, so there's layers to my take. They're a Christian organization that is primarily around for, based off the title, giving, sending, and going, and sending missionaries out, right? Give, send, go. And my take was, both bad. Don't have either of them on there. It's not a free speech issue. Just freaking
don't have the N-word lady and don't have the...
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't become the OnlyFans for Christian fundraising.
Don't become the OnlyFans.
OnlyFans started to support creators, and now they just became a corn site. So don't do that. So, but update us. What's
They reached out.
nice? Okay.
Someone reached out.
Well, I can help them do PR. I'll take a consulting fee.
They'll take so they reached out. They sent this message. I'll just read it to you
Yes.
because I thought this was great.
Yes.
I thought this was great. Someone said only prayers. Yo, only prayers is nasty work. All right.
Holy fans.
Hey, brother. I work on the dev team. I don't know what the dev team, development team.
Development.
At Give, Send, Go.
Okay.
And when I saw your recent clip talking about the wild stuff that's happening there, I was pumped that we got a mention. But for real, wanted to let you know your take on it was more aligned with our position. My take on it. What was my take on it?
If someone's going to be, if you're going to let someone be on the thing, you're going to let everyone
Gotta
be on
let
the thing.
everybody. They gotta let it all go. Let it rock. They don't take a percentage. They just take a credit card transaction fee. And my thing was like, you can't be selective, right? If these are things that GoFundMe is not doing, you gotta let it all rock, right? But for real, want to let you know that your take on it was in line with our position. Everyone is due a fair process, and we are committed to not going down the censorship road. Unfortunately, the implications of that are what is unfolding on our platform. But I want to highlight that when the news is not shining a spotlight on us for these more controversial campaigns, we are doing some amazing things, and our app is not failing, as Zach said, crying emoji.
Did I say it was failing? I think I said OnlyFans was failing, and then they turned into a.
You got to stop saying that word.
What, failing?
No, the OF thing. You can't say that. That's like instantly.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, holy fans.
OnlyFans. How about that?
Just last week, we gave a car away to a family who had theirs stolen in the same week they found out their 5-year-old had cancer.
And then we gave another car to the guy who stole the car.
Stop.
Hey, free speech.
And what no one sees is that we are actively seeking ways to put the gospel in front of both the campaign owner and the donors. Love the show, man. Just wanted to give you some inside perspective. Love you all.
That's awesome.
Ain't that cool?
I love that they reached out. I love that
He said don't mention his name. Listen, I
love that they reached out. I love that they can take some criticism, some jokes.
Yeah.
Not too sternly.
So what's cool is they're saying, yes, our campaign can be used to do and support and fund some questionable things or some things that they may not personally be aligned.
It's like when someone's wearing Bless God merch, but we don't co-sign everything they say.
Right. And so they're saying, but what we don't see is how there is the gospel being shared for both sides that are giving on it, which is actually kind of cool. The people who are receiving, the people who are giving, are getting some spiritual impartation. I'm just kidding.
Gibson goes like,
So that's the
hello, Carmelo.
Sorry, charismatic.
It's looking rough for you, but just know that the gospel is real.
The gospel is still real.
Jesus died and rose for your sins.
That's right. That's right. So I think
Shiloh's gonna be like, I don't really co-sign the N-word anymore.
yeah. So I mean, who knows?
Start going to church.
Start going to church.
Shout out to Give Send Go. They changed
Shout
my
out
life.
to Give Send Go. They're out
They
here.
gave me something more than $600,000. They gave me Jesus.
They gave you Jesus. What button? This man don't know what button he might hit.
I wanted to hit, ironically, the one we just got rid of.
Don't
which
do
is
that one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Someone says Zach be wilding sometimes. He does be wilding sometimes.
I stand by everything I said.
But I think it's worth it. I think the controversy is worth it. So anyway, shout out to Give Send Go. I actually think they're doing cool stuff. I think it's good that a platform like them exists. I always think it's great when Christians are involved in tech, and I believe that if you're going to have one, you should have the other. And as much as it's polarizing and it is kind of dividing the country, which it is, right? Matt Walsh's take on this was that the fact that they raised so much money for the woman, that this is an indication that people are done with cancel culture. That was his take. I know that's your guy.
We're bringing up Matt Walsh.
I know that's your guy.
On this topic.
I mean, this is
Talk
he was riffing on it.
Talk about citing references that you would never use if you didn't land somehow. This is like the full circle, like left versus right thing, where they're like
the Overton window.
The Overton window.
No, it's not the Overton. It's the horseshoe theory.
Yeah,
It's
you
the
guys
horseshoe
just
theory.
met where you're like, yeah, we both agree. Give Send Go should be used to fund people that say the N-word to 5-year-olds.
So this is the horseshoe theory. In case you guys didn't know, this is where the far left. Can you pull this up and zoom in on it? The far left and the far right both unite on one end of the spectrum, and that's kind of what's happening here.
With you and Matt Walsh?
No, not me and Matt Walsh. The people like Matt Walsh who are saying yay for this campaign, and the people that are supporting the Carmelo. They're both aligned on the ends of the extreme on this.
Yeah.
So they become indistinguishable.
I heard there was another guy that like did something crazy and then started to go Give Send Go.
What did he do? Do you remember?
I forget, but it was something like he stole a car. Like he did something where it was like just outland. It's not gonna go viral. It was just bad. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna start Give Send Go.
For like attorney's fees or something? Like he was like arrested and asking for attorney's
Who
fees?
cares?
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a trend.
Yeah.
Oh, I can crash out on the internet and Give Send Go will always get my back.
It's not that they got their back. It's just it's not, what is it? It's not a publisher, it's a platform. This is how YouTube was able to escape remember we were tripping out, the Supreme Court was going to come down and potentially disrupt YouTube and social media companies because they're publishers and they're not they're distributors and they're not publishers. Publishers are newspapers, publishers are networks, publishers are people that are putting out specific things. They should have an editorial process, whereas a YouTube is just a platform, so anyone can be on it. And so I think Go Send Go is that.
Give Send Go.
Give Send Go is that.
Hey, I might crap on them, but at least I remember their name.
Yeah, you do remember their name. All right. Anyway, shout out Give Send Go.
Shout out Give Send Go.
All right. Let me stop the recording. All right, a little appetizer for you guys. Should we get into this Pope situation?
That was good.
Drop a one in the chat if you want us to get into this. Okay, first of all,
That was like one of those things where the appetizer is better than the meal. You know, like you get the Brussels sprouts that are like,
I did a little research on the Pope. I got some takes.
uh-oh.
Okay, real quick, guys, we got to get the likes up. All right, we got to get the likes up. I need you to smash the like and drop a 1 in the chat. All right, smash the like, drop a 1 in the chat. That would be fantastical. All right, fantastical. Did they really say crowned? That's interesting. Didn't know that. Did not know that. Okay, let's get them likes up. There's a new pope. I thought hipster Beanie Bro Mondi was the new pope. That's what he had us believing, ain't it?
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, he was never, ever a Cubs fan.
What is this? All right, guys, we got to get to at least 500 likes. Please stop what you're doing. If you're washing dishes, if you're hitting your workout, you got us on in the background, just go over to your phone, grab the phone, click out of the chat, smash that like button. It cost you nothing. All right, now it cost you nothing. We are at 300. Okay, there we look at that. We got about, let's do 500 likes. I think 500 likes is beyond reasonable. I'll drop a 1 and $4.99. Well, thank you, Word Unboxed. You are far too kind. I appreciate it. There's someone else that sent over a super chat. There's a new pope. I thought hipster. Oh, yeah, I already shouted out cake for that. All right, 20 more likes. All right. The memes around this are hilarious, which I'm not going to get into the memes. Yeah, because it's all the barbecue stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's really funny.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Are you looking for the Pope's speech?
Yep. I'm just going to, it's all in Italian, so it's not like it's going to do anything for us, but it's just good to see it. The walkout goes crazy.
All right, it's official. There has been a new Pope crowned in Vatican City. It's not my guy, not the guy I was pulling for.
Yeah, that was a pump fake with that guy walking out.
But yeah, kind of. But they got a new Pope. There he is. Now the Pope is the first American Pope.
Whoa!
First American Pope. It seems like it's customary for him to speak in Italian.
Yeah, I think it's.
That's
I think
a thing.
it's in Italy. Is it?
Yeah,
It's in,
yes. Vatican City is in Italy. It's in Rome.
But I mean, so he's just talking to the people.
He's gonna be talking to the people.
Isn't it crazy? He'll go from like a English speaking dude to like a primarily you got to be holding it down in Italian all the time because you just relocate.
I think if you're already in Vatican City, you should probably know Italian.
Do you think he was already living in Vatican City for a bit?
I would guess.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I would guess. I'm not sure, but I would think he was pretty far.
You work your way up a bit.
I would think you were working your way up, and you were kind of deep in this world. Excuse me. So, his name is Leo. Help me out with the numeral.
It's Cardinal Robert Prevost, and his Pope name is Pope Leo the 14th.
So they officially changed their names.
Come on.
I like it. I'm telling you, you could hate all you want on Catholicism. Vatican City's dope.
Gorgeous. Look at that.
It's incredible.
We should go.
I've been. We should go.
It's way less scary than Israel. I've been talking about Israel when we go.
I think if we go to Vatican City, we gotta go to Israel.
You're right, because we're already on the.
We're already on there. Like, come on, dude. It's already a 10-hour flight.
It
is beautiful.
That balcony thing goes crazy.
The whole thing is crazy. Like, just walking in there is nuts.
Can the Pope ever just sit out there on a regular day?
I don't think he'd just be out there. There's a lot of security around the Pope. No, not the Black Pope, unfortunately.
Did it ever have a Black Pope? There was a Black Pope at 400 ADs.
Yeah, 1600 years ago, there was a Black Pope.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Catholics.
African Pope.
That's a massive crowd. So,
so this is the guy that we said he had a kind face.
He had a kind face.
And we said a Pope needs to have a kind face.
So I don't want to speak out of turn for the Catholics.
Yep.
But the Catholics are saying that some of the Catholics are saying that he was very supportive of the. Pause it real quick. Some of the Catholics were saying he was supportive of the previous Pope. So the Catholics who are hoping for a more conservative Pope are a bit, they're not sure if that's what they're going to get with this guy because he was so supportive of the previous Pope. And the concern with the previous Pope is that he did the whole like blessing for same-sex couples. And some people said they felt he was a little too liberal.
Voice of Reason almost became Protestant. What do you think about the people that were saying...
Voice of Reason not almost become Protestant. Don't do that.
That's his own words. If they condone homosexuality, it is a false church.
He
become Orthodox.
Hypothetically.
There we go.
Yep.
He become Eastern Orthodox.
So people are saying he's very liberal.
Okay, so but what about the Catholics that you see saying don't make this a right versus left thing?
I honestly haven't seen any of that.
I see it all the time. Every time I log onto your Twitter.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't pay attention.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like, I urge you not to make this a right versus left thing.
So people are saying this is likely Francis 2.0. It's like likely Francis 2.0.
So he's just soft and gentle. Tim Walsey.
He's a bit more left-leaning in some of his stuff, and they don't know, Here's the thing. This is the fascinating thing about the Pope is you got to get in line.
You do got to get in line.
You could have your opinions on him.
There's no not my president with the
There's
Pope.
no not my president with the Pope. You got to get in line, which is interesting. Can we find an interview of him in English? I want to see what he sounds like in English. You got it. Okay, let's check this out. Shout out to
It's got a lot of B-roll, but
Catholic News. Meet the Vatican. Wait, sorry. Let me read the title properly. Shout out to Catholic News Service. This says, meet the new head of the Vatican. How do you say that word?
Dicastery?
Yeah, so this dude's he's been around for a minute.
Yeah,
so he's probably
been,
in the
leading
Vatican
bishops,
for a
I
while.
guess.
So I would guess, again, Catholics, help me out. I would guess his Italian's probably fire. His Italian's probably great.
That's true.
Go ahead.
Goodness gracious.
One of the reasons that the Confessions continues to be one of the widest read books in the history of the world is precisely because of Augustine's insight into human experience. And he does a magnificent job of communicating his own experience.
Listen, we can say what we want. He has a great temperament.
He's great temperament.
Great temperament, soft face, younger looking guy. That means he's gonna be a pope for a while. It's not gonna be one. Yeah, it's not gonna be one of these quick things.
Exactly.
He's gonna be around for 20 years.
Yep.
As the pope.
There you go.
People are saying he's from. I think he's from Chicago, Midwest Pope, American, but also has roots.
Pope from Chirac?
Pope from Chirac. Yeah. Wow.
There's got to be some memes on that, bro. There's got to be some good memes. I hope y'all take care of that, please.
From Chicago, first American Pope. He is. Some people are saying there's connections to the Congo. Is that right? Help me out, chat. I'm seeing a lot in the chat.
I don't see it.
Is it Oba?
My boy's from O Block.
Yeah, that O Block reference is crazy, dog. You got to control. All right, play a little more of this.
Shout out Aiden.
Experience and what he lived, and how that experience can indeed
Pause
be.
it. Okay, he served mainly in South America, Peru specifically.
That explains it to him.
Originally from Chicago and has been in the Vatican. How old is this video?
This video is 2 years old.
2 years old. So he's been around for a while. Go ahead, play some more.
Lived, and how that experience can indeed be a window, if you will, an opening to discovering a personal experience of God in human life. Augustine in Confessions talks about friendship, talks about family, talks about the importance of his mother, talks about his father, talks about human ambition, talks about so many different aspects of human life.
It's funny he says that.
Oh. What does that remind you of?
We don't have that pulled up, do we?
Yes, we do.
Where's it?
Give me 2 seconds.
Sounds a lot like my brand new book that's coming out September 9th called Godly Ambition. He said human ambition.
Come on, look at the
Godly Ambition. You guys should check this out, man. It's an amazing book about an amazing topic.
Yep.
The Pope stamps it.
The Pope stamps it pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yep. And he's American.
And
we're American.
And we're American.
This is written by an American.
Written by an American.
So there's a lot of crossover here.
Go to Godly Ambition, mygodlyambition.com. You go to Amazon. You pre-order it. It's only $23. It doesn't come out until September, but it helps us get this on the New York Times bestseller. We got some incredible people behind this. We have my man Jonathan Pokluda with the forward. We got my guy
Jonathan who?
Jonathan Pokluda, JP.
Oh, JP. Jonathan JP Pokluda.
Jonathan JP Pokluda. We have my guy. Who else is there? John Acuff did a stellar endorsement of it. Okay, if you guys don't know John Acuff, he says, Godly Ambition is a roadmap for anyone trying to navigate the tension between calling and career, hustle and holiness. Ruslan doesn't just inspire, he equips you with practical steps and biblical wisdom to pursue big goals without losing your soul. If you've ever wrestled with starting, quitting, or wondering what's next, this book will meet you right where you are.
Wow.
It's available pre-order right now. Link's pinned up. All right, let's go back to the new Pope. New Pope. I wish you get it. Him holding a Godly Ambition book.
That'd be great.
And then goes on to explain how these things helped or did not help his own personal pathway to discovering God and to discovering what is really holy about life. In the highly individualistic society that people are growing up in, people think that my experience is the criteria, am I happy or I'm not happy? What that might really be is, do I feel pleasure or don't I feel pleasure? Or do I feel selfish? And if I feel okay, then that's all that matters. Certainly Augustine's experience says that, well, that isn't enough, and maybe what you're calling happiness isn't authentic happiness, because you're gonna lose that too. And most things that people seem to...
I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of cooking right now.
It's kind of cooking.
He's kind of cooking right now.
I have a hot take.
What's your hot take?
If Pope Francis, who was a sweet guy, is left-leaning, and this guy is a Pope Francis 2.0, and he loved Pope Francis, and he's left-leaning, and these cardinals have been praying for wisdom in choosing a pope, not from a political bias, but just from, is it possible, and I'm going to hate myself for saying this, that there is a center-leftness that is more Christ-like than center-right?
Is it possible?
Is it possible?
Well, again, you have to define what you mean by center. You got to define what you mean by left. You got to define what you mean by right.
Just kidding. Not taxes, but a softer on the social aspects of life.
Okay.
The gays.
Oh, those.
The blacks.
I totally wasn't thinking about that at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
What else is he left on?
I don't think it's those two things. I think it's like caring for the poor and like demanding.
That's left?
Yeah, like U.S. aid, like, hey, we should put more funds. The theory behind this is that because he's an American, Trump just chopped down a bunch of U.S. aid. I think the Catholic Church gets some degree of U.S. aid for some of their charity and their missions work. And so if you get this guy behind it, you could then potentially bring back some of the fund. This is like the talk on Twitter. And so if you get an American, you can then get some of that U.S. aid money flowing back into some of these charities that they do. And if that goes back in, then they'll be able to continue doing things that is charity, but isn't necessarily privately funded or funded by giving of the church.
Yeah. That's crazy conspiracy. I was just thinking that he's just a nicer guy. And sometimes, and he's just more maybe sweeter to the underprivileged.
Someone said that there's an interview with the Pope's brother. He said when they were kids, elderly female told Pope Leo he would be the first American
Stop it.
Pope. That's kind of fire. If you could dig that up, that'd be fire.
Yeah,
So that's the theory with that, is that they are more left leaning, not in the sense of it's like care for the poor and the marginalized.
Yeah, it's pretty. But from a systemic approach, that's what would make it left.
Sure. That's what would be more, I guess, like socialistic leaning. Like that was a lot of the pushback, is that when you're coming from a South American perspective, there's going to be more of that angle, right?
Yeah.
You looking up brother, Pope Francis' brother?
Yeah, this is his brother, but this isn't the one we're looking for.
Yeah. Ruslan, was Trump foreshadowing the Pope being American? That's a good take. Trump foreshadowing the Pope being American by posting his thing as an American. That's funny. Is this Pope Leo brother as kids? Maybe search as kids. I voted Zach for Pope. That's funny. ABC News. It's ABC News apparently. Left and right are meaningless. Only sovereign Christ determines directions, for sure. You found it? Let's play it.
Yeah, let's play it. This is ABC. This is his brother.
Which church 1.25?
Yeah.
First American Pope. Man, it's interesting.
In Chicago and got to speak with the brother of the newly elected Pope to get his reaction to the news. Here's some of that interview.
Huge deal. How are you feeling right now?
To be honest, there hasn't been a chance to think about it because it's been constant phone calls, emails, messages, interviews. So
Hey,
I don't think it's really.
These guys are American as American pie, bro.
What do you mean?
Just straight Midwest family.
Oh yeah.
Suburban. Wow. That is
Yeah.
so interesting.
We said, I said, his face was very Tim Walsey, and he's like from the same region, same lifestyle, minus the brain rot.
Go ahead.
Sunk in is kind of surreal. It's great.
Now the question is John Provost, his brother, the Pope's brother, is he Catholic?
I would hope so.
You think so?
I would think so.
What
is
if my
that
brother
like?
becomes a pope? I'm schisming.
Go ahead.
Pride. This is an awesome thing in the sense that the first, not only Pope, but first American Pope from Chicago, and a relative.
Not a lot of people can say, my brother is the Pope.
That's correct. And I can now say it.
So when you found out, obviously you have pride, that's your brother. Did you expect this?
To tell you the truth, no, because I kept hearing there will never be an American Pope just because the politics in the United States has too much world power now. They don't need also into the church. So I did not.
Yeah, he's talking like a Catholic.
Yeah,
He's talking like a Catholic. I would assume he's a Catholic.
he's been around for a minute.
Go ahead.
But when I heard he was in a group of 3, then I thought, well, this could happen.
When did you hear that part, and when did you know that he was maybe one of the finalists?
Maybe like a day or 2 after the Pope died, and they were talking about who are the runner-ups and who's in line next to be Pope. And I think I might have heard something about that at that point. Then I spoke to him Tuesday before he went into the conclave, and he just kept saying, no, that's not true, that's not true. So he's pushing it away, hoping that it would go away. It didn't go away.
Oh, that's very interesting.
You know what they say?
That he didn't want to be the Pope.
You know what they say?
What they say?
You want a leader that doesn't want to be a leader.
That's it.
When you actually heard that it was your brother who was selected, where were you? Were you watching television? Were you on the phone?
I was watching TV because I was reading a book, and I got a text that said there's white smoke. So I went down and turned the TV on. No one knew at that point who the Pope was, but there was white smoke, so we knew.
I like to think that they got like a Snapchat streak going on.
What you mean?
Him and his brother.
Oh.
Because they're homies. You know, and then he just sounds a little like, got the white tiny hat. Yo, I'm the new Pope.
So I was watching. I called my niece to make sure she knew. Then we just sat there and watched it. And then she said, look, the curtains are moving. I said, oh, something's coming up. And then that French bishop came out who was going to announce it. And we heard the name. And she screamed. And I said, oh, my gosh, here we go. And then it has been nonstop phones and everything else.
So I said most folks, someone in the chat said that most popes in history have cried after being appointed. They have a designated room of tears.
For the Pope?
Yeah.
That's
sounds
sick.
like it. Sounds like a lot of weight, man.
Oh, I would hate that.
Sounds like a lot of weight.
That sounds, I was just thinking about as he's walking out. I was like, there's no way you're happy. Right? Because you're like, great. Now I got to kiss babies with malaria.
Yeah. So would I interview the new Pope?
100%.
Hello.
I would wear.
Hey, tap in, Pope Leo.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I would wear, what do we call them? What are they called?
I don't know what it's
I would
called.
wear, I don't know.
That's kind of expensive.
I would wear whatever they want me to wear.
Go ahead.
Will now call your brother Pope.
That's right.
You arguably know him better than most people. What kind of person is he?
A regular run-of-the-mill person. I think because he was trained in missionary work in South America for so many years, he will be looking out for the disenfranchised. He will be looking out for the poor. He will be looking out for those that don't have a voice. So I think he will follow in St. Francis. Pope Francis.
I was going to say, how is he different from Pope?
He's just St. Francis to him. But Pope Francis did South American, was from South America too. So very similar region.
Yeah.
Pope Francis.
Hey, South America, kind of a Pope producer.
Or will he be different?
I don't.
Okay, sorry. I don't mean to keep talking every 2 seconds. But is assignments as in the Catholic Church similar to like colleges for football players?
Assignments?
Yeah, like you get assigned to South America and you're like, oh yeah.
I don't know.
You put the hat on, South America, fast track to the NFL, baby.
It sounds like South America has a good amount of issues, and that's why there's a leaning towards socialism, and that's why a lot of these guys kind of tend to be a bit more left-leaning. That's what I've heard. I don't want to, again, I'm not trying to speak out of turn. I'm sure Catholics will correct me, but I've heard that like, oh, he's coming from South America, so we understand why he's socialist, and it sounds like there's a lot of issues there.
But it sounds like if you go to South America, you're kind of on the fast track to become the Pope.
That's another way to look at it.
I don't know that you'll see a big difference. He met Pope Francis before he was Pope when he was in Argentina, and my brother was in Peru. So that's how the connection began. I think they kind of believed in the same issues. So I don't know that there'll be much difference. He might prove me wrong, but I don't see there'll be much of a tradition break in the tradition of Pope Francis.
You attending and being part of the church community that includes the south side of Chicago. How did that impact you guys?
And he said I mean, that's the south side of Chicago. That's usually what they're referencing when they say Chirac.
So he really is. And hey, at least they changed their name as a pope. So once everyone forgets his name, like whatever provost, see, I'm already forgetting it. Then
Shout out to Apologia Center. He said Charlie Kirk looked him up before he moved to Peru. He was a registered Republican. Go ahead.
That's such a Charlie Kirk move.
It is such a Charlie Kirk move.
Around a whole lot because after 8th grade graduation, he went immediately to the seminary. So he was in Holland, Michigan at the Augustinian Seminary for 4 years. And then he went into Villanova University, which is an Augustinian university. So he wasn't home a lot. Summer vacations, he was home. Growing up as kids, I think we were just regular kids and didn't really think about that kind of stuff. The interesting thing, I don't know how many people find it interesting, but when he was in 1st grade, a woman across the street that we used to play with the kids and a woman down the street said he would be the first American pope. In 1st grade, they said that.
1st grade?
Whoa.
A random woman told him he would be the pope?
Well, they were neighbors, we knew them, but yes.
Whoa.
He knew at that age he was going to be a priest.
Whoa. That's whoops, hold on.
I mean, that's crazy.
That's spooky.
Because that's already something that is a stretch to say. And then to say it to the one kid that becomes the actual pope.
Where's that lady at?
Yeah, we need to
track her down.
Yeah, we need to get her on the podcast.
Whoa. Wow. That's wild.
Come on, somebody.
Should we clip that up for tomorrow?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So, man, you just never know what. You could just be speaking some pretty prophetic stuff and not even know it.
Hello.
Right? What are the odds? What are the odds to say something like that about him? So anyway, God bless the Pope, man. God bless all the Catholics. Listen, I know people love to dunk on Catholics. I don't think we want a liberal Pope. I think we want something that's more
we want a Jesus
aligned with Scripture and God have mercy on all of Christianity, but specifically the Catholics who are now, I assume, is celebratory, and I think that's a massive that's a feat. Seems like a good guy. And I would, for the record, I would love to sit down with the Pope. I would totally sit down with the Pope. I don't think he's coming here.
I'll sit down with the Pope's brother.
I wonder if
I wonder if the Vatican.
I start thinking of like random friends who we have that are Catholic, and
yeah. I
wonder if Matt Frack can help get us.
He's definitely never met. He did a live stream when the smoke hit.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire.
So they had like 2,000 people live.
Come on.
He brought some other gentleman on that.
Yeah.
Catholic, and they were just chatting away for about 45
minutes
that's to an hour
crazy.
until they found out who it was.
Wow.
But he never met him, and then the other guy never met him either. So.
Yeah. All right, let me stop the recording. Chris, can you chop that down for tomorrow?
Do you want to
with that part? Yeah, with that opening. Chris, do you hear me?
Chris.
Pope was prophesied to be a pope when he was a kid.
Can you chop that down and put it on the main channel? Yeah, it'll be tomorrow's main channel upload.
But it's at the very, very end where we heard the brother say that he was lady told him he was going to be a pope.
Yeah, so grab the soundbite. It's packaging around the lady telling him that he's going to be the first American pope when he was a kid.
Yeah, so Maja, so tweak this thumbnail too.
So add the new pope
in 1st grade.
And then add his brother in the middle, and then like crazy prophecy.
Shout out to Word Unbox for super chat. He said, considering on buying your book, can I expect any type of resonance of material towards a woman's godly ambition, or is it male perception focused? That's a great question.
That's a great question.
It's not directly male focused, but it is going to have a lot of male overtones because I'm a dude.
Yeah.
So yes and no. Do we speak into seasons of that women could be experiencing, and it is more neutral? But yeah, so yeah, I mean, you're hearing from a dude, but it will be for, I think it's for everybody. For everybody trying to figure out how to steward their godly ambition. Speaking of godly ambition,
the Pope co-signs it.
The Pope co-signs it. Wrong.
He said the word ambition once. What are you looking for? Oh, this is great.
So, prophesied is strong. She could have just known he was next in his bloodline.
What does that mean?
That sounds like
That
a prophecy, dog.
What?
What?
His bloodline is Midwest.
He's in Chicago. He's in the south side of Chicago. She could have just known it was his bloodline. Yeah, that's Bree, respectfully, that sounds like a prophecy.
Yeah, what the heck?
Prophetic Pope with a constipation face. Absolutely, Stephanie. You know what time it is. That joint gonna be a what are you projecting? 2 out of 10?
That's a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Sorry, we just popped off with the Mahdi videos. So.
Yep. All right, let me start this recording again. Hold on. All right. Did Tim Ross call me out?
Come on.
Did he call out my new book? If you guys don't know, Tim Ross, had him on the channel multiple times, been on his channel multiple times. Good friend. And people have been sending me this video like crazy. And I think we got to address it. I think we got to address it head on. Okay, so if you guys don't know who Tim Ross is, a host of the Basement Podcast, overseer of Mike Todd. You see Sergio in the comments going hard. We can start with Sergio comments. Sergio works with us if you didn't know.
Let's read this.
Godly ambition is sneaky but dangerous.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Do you often blame God when things don't work out? Comment motives to get the episode. And then this is what Sergio wrote. I think a better way to title that ambition is that God told me ambition. Godly ambition can be explained biblically, and it's good for Christians to understand what ambition is from God and what's selfish ambition.
Come on.
So shout out to Sergio. So people have been sending me this, DMing me this. I reached out to Tim and I reached out to Hector on his team, but I wanted to react to this video because, I mean, he is kind of blasting the idea of godly ambition. I thought it'd be good to, is he talking about my new book? Is he talking about me? Or is he talking about something totally different? And then give you guys like the actual scriptural framework of what I'm talking about. All right, so go ahead and play this video.
The reason why I say that godly ambition is the worst form of ambition is because the way I define godly ambition is when we come up with things to do for God that he never said he wanted to do through us.
So he comes in hot.
Comes in
going
hot.
at your boy.
Coming at your boy.
Going at your boy. Again, if you guys didn't know, Godly Ambition on sale, pre-order, comes out September 9th. All right. And it's going to be a slapper. Okay. So he says godly ambition is the worst ambition. But then he goes on to explain how I define godly ambition is when you feel like God told you to do something, right? Refresh it. Let me read. I want to make sure we properly.
The reason why I say that godly ambition is the worst form of ambition is because the way I define godly ambition is when we come up with things to do for God that he never said he wanted to do through us.
When we come up with things to do for God that he never said to do, right?
That he wanted to do for us.
That he wanted to do for us. So to me, that's not godly ambition. And we're going to get into exactly what godly ambition is, but that's not godly ambition. That's selfish ambition. And there's two different definitions, two different words for it. Okay. So go ahead.
Oof, Jesus. My God.
But because we dropped the God card on it, it sounds so noble that nobody can check us.
I'm begging you. Stop saying God told me.
Come on.
I'm begging you. So God told me ambition is not godly ambition.
Yeah.
Though these are not the same thing. God told me ambition is selfish ambition. It's ego masked in a religious tone that's selfish. It's because you really want something to happen.
Yep.
So then you're going to package it with something that makes you sound more holy and sanctified and then add God on it.
Yes.
That's not godly ambition. Again, we're going to get into I'm going to take you out to the Greek. We're going to get into exactly what godly ambition is. Okay? Go ahead.
Who's going to check? Oh, God said.
Yeah, so that's how you get people to like, God told us to start a food bank.
Right.
But there's like only 7 cans of green beans in the pantry, right?
Right.
And it's like, but you said God told you to do it. And then when it doesn't work, since God can't be wrong and you're not humble enough for you to be wrong, then you blame it on God and say, God just wanted to take me through that to teach me a lesson.
He's kind of cooking. He's kind of cooking.
Got him.
He's kind of cooking.
Yeah.
All right. So play the rest of this. Was that it?
So now God looks schizophrenic when really that was you.
Yeah.
All right.
That was it.
So let's go to our handy logo software.
Shout out to Logos, the best Bible study app in the world. None greater.
Okay. So let's look at a little bit of Greek, because I think this is super important. And I think this is a conversation that many of us are willing to have on this topic. Okay. So James chapter 3, verse 16, it says, "For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder in every practice, every evil practice. But the wisdom that comes out from heaven is first of all pure, peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere." Okay, so this phrase, selfish ambition, if we hit Logos, which by the way, shout out to Logos, they're a partner of the channel. If you guys didn't know, Logos is giving all of you guys a free 60-day trial of their incredible software. We'll have that pinned below. I think it's in the description of this video, logos.com/Ruslan. And you can get yourself 60 days. This software used to cost hundreds of dollars, and potentially there's even more expensive tiers.
Yeah.
So they've hooked it up to now a subscription, like $10 a month, $12 a month type of plan. So if we go here, we hit study, and then a window will open up for the different this is the topical study of it, right? But that's not what I want. I want to hit study, and I want to right click, and we can see the Bible word study book right here. And we open up and we discover that this word is, let's see if I play it for us.
Erythia.
Erythia. This is selfish ambition. This is labor for wages, selfish ambition, hostility, strife, contentiousness, right? Selfish ambition. And it's self-seeking. And this word is used quite a few times in the scriptures, right? Romans 2:8. But for those who are self-seeking and reject, right? So it's about a selfishness that's connected to this word. So I actually think that's what Tim is talking about. It's actually selfish ambition. When we're talking about godly ambition, it's this ambition we find in Philippians chapter 4, verse 11, right? "And to make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, you should mind your own business, work with your own hands, just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders and so that you will not be dependent on anybody." That's what the whole book is based on, the idea of this sort of ambition that we see. And if we, again, click here on this word, hit study, boom, check this out. It's a different word. It's crazy. Selfish ambition and godly ambition are two totally different words.
Philotimeme.
Philotimeme. Have as one's ambition, rival. Have as one's ambition, considerate and honor, aspire, love, seek after, honor, to be ambitious. When this word is used, right?
Aspire to a goal.
Aspire to a goal. You'll see it used, and you see it used 3 times in the New Testament. One of which we just went over on my Mike Winger video. It's in Romans chapter 15:20. It says, "It has always been my ambition to preach the gospel where Christ was not known, so that I would not be building on someone else's foundation." So Paul, punchline, has ambition. Right? And his ambition around preaching the gospel. This same ambition Paul is writing to them in 1 Thessalonians. This is and make it your ambition. So Paul has an ambition to preach the gospel. He says to make it your ambition. So this is the type of ambition we are to have, the godly ambition we are to have, to lead a quiet life, mind your own business, work with your own hands, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders and you will not be dependent on anybody. And then this word is used again in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9. "So we make it our goal to please him, whether we are at home in the body or away," right? So this word right here, we make it our goal, right? Same word. So it's interesting how sometimes he's saying ambition, sometimes he's saying make it our goal, our aim, right? But it's the same exact idea. This idea, Paul says, "So we make it our goal to please him, whether we are at home in the body or away from it, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each of us may receive what is due to us." So Paul says he has ambition to what? Preach the gospel.
Yep.
Paul says as a community, we have ambition to do what? To please him.
Yes.
Right? And then the instruction to the church in Thessalonica was very obsessed with Jesus coming back any minute. Why? Because they were experiencing crazy persecution and they became useless. They became so heavenly minded, waiting for Jesus to return, they became useless. They got lazy. Paul, the instruction he gives it to them is to lead a quiet life, mind your own business, work with your own hands, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders, so that you may not be dependent on anybody. This is the type of ambition that we're encouraged to have, is the ambition to please God, the ambition to lead a quiet life, work with your own hands, become useful.
Yes.
So your daily life wins the respect of outsiders, and the ambition to do what pleases God.
Come on.
Okay. And that is not what Tim is saying. Tim is talking about, in my opinion, I think it's better classified as the selfish ambition that we saw described in James 3:16, which is a totally different Greek word. I think it's this word right here, right? Which is about selfishness and selfish ambition. So it's interesting that in the Greek, there's a distinction between the type of ambition we are commanded to have in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and the type of ambition, this erithia ambition that we are discouraged from having. This is not a good type of ambition. And this word, oddly enough, is only used twice in the New Testament. So it's only used in Romans, self-seeking ambition, Romans 2:8, and it's used in James chapter 3, verse 16.
Come on.
So shout out to our friends over at Logos. If you guys want the free trial, you guys can get yourself the free trial for 60 days. And then you could also get yourself, and then if you want to keep it, you can keep it. And you could also pre-order the brand new book, mygodlyambition.com. Godly Ambition is on Amazon, $23.98. We're working on making sure that we can get everybody who pre-ordered the first 2 chapters again. We had like a raffle and are giving away 10 copies, advanced copies. That's done. But we are trying to get you guys the first 2 chapters so you can get it early before it comes out September 9th.
Come on, somebody.
Anyway, thoughts on that?
No, it's great. I like it. You know, it's easy to say that's not what you meant about godly ambition. But it's even better when you can go and pull up the original language.
Yep.
And be like, this is what the book means.
Yep.
So nice and clear.
Yeah, because oftentimes we will use words interchangeably.
Yes.
Without understanding the weight that discouraging people from being ambitious in a godly way can actually cause harm. And I'm not saying this in a hurt their feelings
Words
harm.
of violence.
Yeah, words of violence harm. I'm talking actual harm to the trajectory of their life. I also find it, how do I say this? I find it frustrating when people who are highly successful tell their audience who is aspiring to be successful to not be ambitious. Right? And they make it sound like everything just magically happened for them.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, no, yes, the hand of God, the providence of God, but God also works in systems. Yes. God also works in stewardship. God also works when you are faithful in the little things. God also, and that's exactly like the point of everything we're trying to explore, is making sure we have a holistic approach, that it's not just like God just sprinkles down, stability and wholeness and healing on you. No, there's a process we get to work through. That process requires a godly ambition. That process requires us to go through and understand how to steward our time, talent, and treasure so that we can make the most of our time on this side of eternity. So anyway, let me go to some of you guys' super chat. If you're just watching, let me know where you guys are watching this from. Drop your location. Enigma did deplete. We talked about Mike Todd's outfit yesterday. We did a new series addressing megachurch shenanigans without saying anything negative. So that should be coming out pretty soon here. How do we get the Logos promo? Not seeing it in the description. It's not in the description. Logos.com/Ruslan. Logos.com/Ruslan. All right. I spent, shouts to Harrison Family Vlogs. He said, I spent about $500 for Logos a couple of months before the subscription. Oh no! Eesh. For me to use all the features, I had to also pay for a subscription despite paying $500. Still love it. Dag. Well, man, I'm sorry that you went out. That just goes to show you how much they're hooking y'all up. My man Harrison Family Values dropped a bag on Logos, and then they went to subscription, and now you guys can get it for like $10 to $15 a month. You want to add it to the links? Is that what you're doing?
I added to the upload defaults.
No, the lives are different.
Oh, the lives are different.
Yeah. Lives are different. So just copy it from the description.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Harrison Family Vlogs. Okay, shout out to Carl. He said, hey, Ruslan, I love your show, fan, but I have to say you're 100% wrong and misinformed that Bethel had tarot cards. I go to Bethel and have been involved as a committed attendee for 7 years. Carl, it's not just tarot cards with Bethel. It's the macro view where they say their theology, Bill Johnson, this is a direct quote, I will not create a theology that will allow for sickness. That is a problem to me because we see people who love the Lord get sick in Scripture. We see Timothy saying, hey, drink a little wine for your stomach, right? We see Paul talking about a thorn in the flesh. So for Bill Johnson to repeatedly plant the flag, and I will not create a theology that will allow for sickness. First of all, theology is the study of God. I don't know why Bill Johnson is creating theology. We don't create the study of God. Theology is looking at the scriptures in context, doing exegesis, and trying to come to the conclusions of what is reasonable for those of us who are looking at the issue of healing versus not healing, looking at the issue of spiritual gifts versus not everybody getting all the spiritual gifts. We're looking at the issues of prophecy and can everyone be a prophet versus not prophecy. So my issue with Bethel, the Bethel tarot cards, the grave soaking, listen, I'll concede right now and chalk all of that up as those are people on the fringes who are just, what we do in moderation, they'll do in excess, and they just take the culture and they run, they hijack it, and they bug out. Yep. I'll concede that. Let's just concede that for a minute. Let's just say, you know what? Bill Johnson, Chris Valentin, they're not about the weird stuff. They're not about grave soaking. They're not about tarot cards. Let's just concede that for the point being. That's not my issue.
Yeah.
And then to double down, and maybe we'll have Chris cut this up because this was in Mike Winger's initial video. My issue is then I will not create a theology that allows for sickness. And then right after that, he goes on to say, because scholars believe that Paul had a thorn in his flesh and that was a sickness, and therefore Paul came back and preached another gospel.
Whoa.
Oh, got that. Glad I got that out. Like, these are damnable things he said, man. And yes, they don't say them all the time. I would venture to say 99% of the stuff that happens at Bethel is fine. Minus the gold dust, minus the, the feathers. I'll say 99% of the stuff that happens at Bethel was fine. But that 1%, my brother.
It's pretty bad.
That 1% is really bad. That 1% is really bad.
It's that Wednesday night service you're not making it to, I guess.
Yeah. And so what happens when you are praying for healing? You've been taught that God wants everybody healed all the time. God wants everybody healed all the time.
Yep.
And then you don't get healed. Or your wife doesn't get healed, or your child doesn't get healed, or your mom doesn't get healed, or your friend doesn't get healed. Then you got to nuance it. But you know what we could do? We can nuance it on the front end, Carl. We can nuance it and say, hey, there's the active will of God and there's the passive will of God. And God's heart is, yes, for everyone to be saved, but not everyone is saved. So that means that sometimes God allows bad things to happen. Sometimes God allows people to go to hell.
Preach.
That doesn't mean God is the one causing them to go to hell.
Yeah.
Right? And so the same thing with healing. God can heal, but yet it's still within God's providential will that sometimes you don't get healed.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't get healed. And it's frustrating to me because Bill has gone through this. Bill himself has gone through this and preached a beautiful sermon the day after his wife died of cancer. Preached an awesome sermon after the day his wife died of cancer. But you could nuance it in the beginning. Instead of saying, we just believe God always wants to heal everybody and God is not a liar.
Yep.
And then what happens if someone doesn't get healed? Well, we're not saying it's your fault, but what is the logical conclusion? I didn't have enough faith. This is dangerous to people's faith. And I know people personally. I've seen the culture of Bethel outsourced and sent out to other places. And I've seen the damage it does to people who want to desperately speak in tongues because Bethel is telling them you can have the gift of tongues, but they don't speak in tongues. Who desperately want to see miraculous healing and signs, and it doesn't happen. So then they start thinking, oh, it must be something wrong with me. That's the logical conclusions of that position. You can nuance it on the back end all you want. Why not nuance it on the front end? Why not say, you know what, man? We're going to pray for healing and we're going to pray for God to move and we're going to pray for signs and wonders. But sometimes those don't happen because we're not chasing what's in the master's hand. We're chasing the master. I don't need to chase what's in the master's hand because it's actually about the master. I don't need a sign. I don't need a miracle. That's not what it's about. Those things do happen. I do see the hand of God, but it's actually about the master. It's actually about the hand of God. It's not about the hand of God. It's about the person of God. If my kid just wanted me for the stuff I can buy them, that would be a very superficial relationship.
Yeah.
But see, my kids want me because I'm their father and I'm a good father. And sometimes I buy them cool stuff and I take care of them and I let them have ice cream.
Come on, somebody.
Right? And so I think that's the issue. So your issue with me and Bethel is the tarot cards and all that. That's the superficial, and I'll concede all that. The deeper issue is the theology, the theology he doesn't want to create for sickness. Fam, nah, bro. Nah. Sometimes, tragically, amazing people who love Jesus are believing for healing, are believing for God to supernaturally move. Sometimes those people don't get healed. And we don't know why. But I've gone through it enough times to know it has nothing to do with someone's faith or lack of faith. And it's not because, well, the enemy, no. Sometimes God, who's all provident, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all the people in it. Sometimes God allows bad things to happen to good people. I don't know why. I'm going to have a lot of questions for when I get to heaven, because I've had a lot of people close to me die who we believed were going to get miraculously healed, and they didn't. And I don't know why. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. I'm okay with living in that tension. I'm okay with living in that mystery. I'm okay with not having all the answers. So yes, my issues with Bethel are beyond the superficial, grave soaking, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and no, everything isn't spiritual warfare, because sometimes suffering happens. Sometimes good people suffer. Sometimes God allows his kids to go through bad things. I don't know why, right? I don't know why. I don't know why young people die of leukemia. No idea why. 25-year-olds become widows. I don't know why. But it happens. And I think maybe we will know why sometimes. Maybe in heaven we'll know why. Maybe on this side of eternity we'll know why, right? And so that's the issue with Bethel. So miss me with the, oh, you don't get it. No, I get it. I get it. Trust me. I was at a church that was highly influenced by Bethel, and I had major issues with them. And I would sit down and I understand I understand the theology. I understand theology very well. Very well. And I have a lot of close friends that have been to Bethel, that's still close to Bethel, that are going back to Bethel from that area. Trust me, I get it. It's not just about, oh, tarot cards and they pulled physics of heaven from their website, which they did, which was bogus, by the way. Heretical book, redeeming the new age, and then you just quietly pull it and don't say anything about it. Yeah, that's that. But that's not even the deeper issue. The deeper issue is the theology around healing and prophecy. That's the deeper issue, and that stuff is generally on hush hush. And then they use out of context verses like the manger. What is the verse? Let me pull up the verse. The ox is when there's no ox.
This commenter didn't realize you had a whole graduate essay already written on. This is your.
Check it out. This is the verse they love to use, because when this stuff comes up, hey, y'all are sloppy with this. Hey, people are getting disillusioned with their faith. Hey, what's going on with some of this kind of weird stuff? Help us understand. This is his go-to. Oh my goodness, this is his go-to right here. Where there are no oxen, the manger is clean, but from the strength of an ox come abundant harvest. So the response, by the way, the still man, if I'm going to steal, when there's revival, it's going to get messy. What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? It's going to get messy, because where there's no oxen, the mangers is empty, but from the strength of from an ox come abundant. This is not about revival, fam.
And they go, what? I'm guessing. I've never heard this argument, but I would imagine. And what does the ox do?
Yeah.
They push, they pull,
right.
They poop.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
This is a metaphor about farming.
Yeah.
And is actually closer parallel to business.
Hello.
Which is Proverbs is primarily talking about reaping and sowing and business and all that sort of stuff. So what this is really saying is, where there are no oxen, the manger is empty. What does the oxen do? The oxen produces the harvest, helps produce the harvest.
Yes.
Right? The manger is empty. The manger is where you store the ox. Mm-hmm. Right? But from the strength of an ox comes an abundant harvest. So the means of production for you is going to create a mess. The capital is going to create a mess.
Yep.
But if you don't have it, then you're going to keep a clean manger. You can keep a clean manger, but there won't be an abundant harvest. That's what this is saying. This is actually a verse about risk and business. That's what this is actually talking about. Farming, sustaining yourself. This is not about, we're going to be sloppy with prophecy and say, hey, Zach, if Jesus was sitting here, say something nice he would say to me.
Hey, you have a lot of power in your voice, and when people when you communicate to people, they understand it and they implement it.
Well, you just prophesied.
Yep.
That's a prophecy.
Yeah.
That's not a prophecy, fam. That's not what prophecy is. That's how Bethel teaches prophecy. Usher in the spirit of encouragement. If Jesus was in this room and he went around and he said encouraging things, what would they be? See, you just prophesied. They literally have a class on this. How do I know? Because they taught this class at the old church I was at.
It's like how the fortune cookies have just turned into motivational quotes.
Low key.
And then it's like, why is it still called a fortune cookie?
Yeah, it's
This is not a fortune.
Yeah.
This is not a prediction. This is not a prophecy.
And
this
by
is
the
just
way,
motivation.
And by the way, I'm saying this as someone that believes that God can speak in prophetic words, prophetic dreams, prophetic visions. I believe in these things.
As Mark Driscoll once said, cessationist is the closest thing to atheist while still believing in Jesus.
Right. So it's not that I am against being charismatic.
Yeah.
It's not that. I believe in healing. I believe in these things. I just don't like it when they're abused. And I don't like it when this culture is outsourced to other churches. And then you start getting into, well, you aren't doing it like Bethel. And why don't you have a school of supernatural ministry? And why isn't there gold dust and feathers flying from the ceiling of your thing?
Yes.
That's my issue with Bethel. So thank you, Carl, for opening up a can of worms that I really didn't want to get into today. But while we're here, there you go. All right.
While the harvest is plentiful.
While the harvest is plentiful. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. We appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Again, logos.com/Ruslan if you want to get that Logos 60-day trial.
Real
That's
quick.
an insane amount.
Why should a regular person get Logos?
You know why? This is a great question.
Yep.
You know why? Because all of these tools are actually on their app.
Oh, that's sick.
So like even the ability to look up, like, oh, I want to look up a word, right? Where what is the manger? And I want to go look and study that word in the original language. Like you could do that on your phone.
A place where cattle are fat.
And then that word manger, we can go and look where else is it used? Oh, it's used in Proverbs and Isaiah, the word right? And so I think that tool alone for me supersedes and all props to YouVersion and all props to Blue Letter Bible. That tool to me alone supersedes that, knocks it out of the park. Because I was like, let me do my Devo on this and my physical Bible, and I kind of I can go on my walk and I can do my Devo and I can do studies and all that sort of stuff. And so that's why I think Logos is fire. And again, this thing used to be hundreds of dollars. What's the name? Said it was $500.
Yeah, never sit there and go, what is this saying?
Yeah, what is it saying? Yeah,
just look up the word.
You could look up the word, understand. Here's another one. This is a controversial one. Let's look up. Let's do it right now. Let's look up the word abundant.
What is the pricing for Logos? I think it's like $15 a month.
No, it's like $10 a month, bro. So the word abundant, right? You could search it to see everywhere it is. But again, I like to go into here. So you can right click it, or we can go to study, and then boom, abundant, multitude, greatness, abundance, right? Mm-hmm. So what is abundance? Greatness, mercy, long time. So if we go, it's telling us what all the different meanings of the word.
Yep.
And then we go down here and we can see everywhere that the word is used.
Yeah.
So it's all over, right? Of his compassion and many abundance, Genesis 27:28, a death's riches and abundance of grain and new wine. And so the ability to go and study stuff like that is pretty fire. And yeah, I think if you go to logos.com/Ruslan.
I wonder if they're ever going to add any AI features.
Well, they're adding libraries, so I'm going to have my own library on there.
That's sick.
Yeah, so this thing is, you can try it free for 60 days, but if you hit, where's the pricing for it? I think it's like $10 a month.
Hit Try Logos free. You still have to sign. If you hit Try Logos free, you still have to sign up for the 60-day free trial, I believe.
Oh, yeah, so yeah, monthly.
Jeez Louise, that's great.
So $14.99.
So if you pay monthly, it's $15 a month.
Yeah. If you do annually, you can get it for $8.33 a month.
Wow, that's great.
Or the pro one, or the max one for $60.
Yeah, and then it's also got a bunch of other features in there. Like that feature you just said alone, super worth it.
There's other stuff in there.
But there's room to grow.
Yeah.
So like if you're trying to like get into the word, and maybe you just trying to get into the word every day, and the YouVersion Bible app is the thing that you're just trying to get open. But for the folks that are like, I want to know what I'm reading,
right,
and I want to understand it. Right. Hey,
it's pretty fire.
Yeah.
Pretty fire. What have I found the most useful? That. Also, real quick, the fact book is pretty fire. They got this thing called a fact book. So I think I can like highlight a whole verse And so like I love all this stuff, but then you can go into Fact Book.
I saw it right there.
And like skillful workers. And then I could do a whole study on Proverbs and the Fact Book.
It pulls up commentary.
Yeah, it pulls up commentary. Or if we go now, let's go back here and go abundant. Right. And so now there's a whole study on the word abundance. This word is used with great freedom. And so you can dive in, you can look at it under the Bible. There is some AI worked in here. You asked that earlier, Zach.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think these are the things. I like having like my different Bible translations easily available. But yeah, I like the Greek. There's a way you can set up where you got the Greek and the Hebrew right next to each other. I don't really like to read it that way personally, but yeah, there's some cool stuff in there. And then the cross-referencing is fire. So you can see ox in Psalm 100, boom.
Yeah. I would say like the regular man's way of using this is just like interested in what the original manuscripts were saying.
Right.
And then looking that up. Yeah. And then there's a bunch of other tools that like even you haven't even scratched the surface with.
Yeah.
But like that alone.
Yeah, we're gonna bring somebody in, I think in June, to do like a deep dive training on this stuff. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Logos. They're gonna be sponsoring the Second Blessed God Summit. They've sponsored the channel. And so yeah, logos.com/Ruslan.
And we've never had a sponsor of the channel besides the Blessed God Shop. So
right. So first
trust
sponsor.
that if we're promoting it, that it's actually something that's awesome that we've used for longer than a year.
Yep. And again, God the Ambition up for pre-order. Guys, we're out of here. We love you guys. We'll see y'all later. Peace.